On day 1, I spawned in as Mario. Woohoo! I was in the middle of a plains biome and what was that? Explosions were going off in the distance. I ran over to see a castle being destroyed. Who would do something like this?
Help me!
I looked over and there was a princess. She must have owned this castle. She was beautiful and in trouble. Suddenly, a small-looking turtle flew in next to her.
Princess Peach, you're coming with me.
By the looks of things, this turtle isn't friendly. Hey, let her go! The turtle turned his attention towards me and blasted me with one of his bombs. Ah! What was that for? I was so weak. Because of my size, I only had 5 hearts.
Now that we have the princess, in 100 days, the world shall feel the wrath of Bowser and his army.
Bowser? Who's that? All I could do was helplessly watch as the princess was taken away, leaving her castle in ruins. On day 2, I ventured out far away from the castle. I looked around and found myself in some kind of flower forest. Out of nowhere, I spotted a strange yellow block floating up in the air. It had a question mark on it, and I had an urge to hit it. I decided to jump and hit the block. It popped out a stone axe. Cool. It looks like these blocks give me items. I used my stone axe and chopped down as many trees as I could. I then used some of the wood to craft myself a wooden pickaxe. With the pickaxe, I was able to get some stone nearby. I then crafted myself a full set of stone tools. It wasn't much, but at least these will keep me better protected. I wasn't sure who Princess Peach was, but I felt the urge that I had to rescue her. I had a strange feeling it was my job to do so. Wait, who was that? Someone was in trouble. I needed to go and help them. On day 3 to 4, I ran over to the screams and saw that it was a mushroom person. He was being attacked by a little turtle person.
Help! It's called a Koopa, and it's attacking me!
Hey, leave him alone. The Koopa turned around and saw that I was right behind him. Uh-oh. I pulled out my sword and swiped at him. The attack was dealing damage, but it wasn't defeating him. What the heck was going on? Was I that weak?
You have to jump on its head after using your sword!
Jump on his head? The Koopa came charging at me again, and I hit it with my stone sword. Then, I jumped on its head, and it automatically defeated him. Whoa. The Mushroom Man introduced himself as Toad and thanked me for saving him. Of course. I quickly told him about what happened to me a few days ago.
Oh, they took Princess Peach? Oh, no! If we can't save her, Bowser will be unstoppable!
That's the second time I heard of this Bowser. Was he that dangerous? I reassured Toad that I planned on getting her back. More Koopas could show up at any second though. So Toad and I left the area and continued our journey. On days 5 to 6, I used my tools to collect more resources. After I finished, I continued onwards. While we were walking, I spotted another mystery block. Great. Maybe if I hit it, it'll give me something else that's useful. I ran up to the block and tried punching it, but all I did was hurt my hand. Ow! What gives?
Maybe you need to get stronger to hit more of these blocks.
I guess I had no choice but to leave the block behind for now. As we continued traveling, I noticed that Toad was sad, and I asked him what was wrong. He told me that he was thankful for being with me, but he missed Mushroom Kingdom. That must have been the castle that was destroyed on day 1. You know what? I think I just came up with an idea. We found a nice open area, and I decided that this would be the perfect place for the base. I used the resources that I've collected and built a small wooden hut for myself. This looks perfect. After I finished, I was able to make one for Toad as well. Then I lured some chickens and built a pen for them to stay in. I told Toad that in due time, this base would eventually become the new Mushroom Kingdom. That way, you don't have to miss the old one. Toad thanked me, and I asked him where I could find Bowser. I wanted to get the princess back. Toad looked worried and said,
On day 1, you only faced his son, Bowser Jr. You haven't met his father yet.
Toad told me that Bowser was the strongest one there was, and the most feared creature in all of Minecraft. If I wanted to beat him, I would have to get much stronger.
Lucky for you, there's a way to beat him.
He said that there were special plants scattered around the world. First, Toad said that I needed to find the super mushroom. Once I ate that, I could grow much stronger. I thanked Toad for the info and headed out in search of the mushroom. On days 7 to 8, I was searching, and while I was walking, I was suddenly attacked from behind. Ouch! Who would do that? I turned around and saw that it was the Koopa from day 1. So, you're Bowser Jr., huh?
Look at how weak you are.
Bowser Jr. said now that they had the princess, his father could start his global conquest of Minecraft. Not if I have anything to say about it. I rushed at Bowser Jr. and hit him with my sword, but he just stood there and laughed at me.
Is this all you've got? How pathetic.
He sent me flying across the area. And I was low on hearts. This guy was still too strong for me. I had to get out of here and find the super mushroom. I was running as fast as I could when I saw a giant green pipe. I didn't know where it led, but it was better than here. I quickly jumped into the pipe. I hope this works. I found myself inside of a cave. Maybe I should look for these pipes in the future. I ventured inside of the cave and collected any iron that I could find. I had enough and created a new set of iron tools. I was able to make it out of the cave and continued my search for the super mushroom. As I continued my travels, I spotted a village nearby and saw that it was in bad condition. I walked inside of the village and it looked like somebody must have attacked this place. I asked one of the villagers what happened, and he told me that they got attacked by Bowser's Koopa army.
They told us that Bowser was now the ruler of this place, and we needed to serve him. When we refused, this was what happened.
Those jerks. They can't just go around and force people to do their bidding. It just wasn't right. The villager told me that Bowser's troops were doing this everywhere. I told him that I was gonna stop Bowser and bring everything back to normal. The villager was glad to hear that, and suddenly I noticed my hunger bar was running low. I had to get food. The villager offered me some bread, but as I looked around, I realized they needed it more than me. I told him that I couldn't take the last of it, but he insisted. I reluctantly did and ate the bread, regaining my hunger and hearts. I asked him if he happened to spot any floating blocks around here, and the villager told me that he actually saw one not far. It was somewhere on a hilltop. I thanked the villager for his help and made my way towards the block. On days 11 to 12, I went towards the hilltop the villager pointed me towards. I looked around the area and I couldn't find anything. I kept searching until I found that the block was floating on top of the hill. I made my way up and knew this had to be it. I jumped and hit the block. Suddenly, a red mushroom popped out. Whoa! This must be the super mushroom. I went over and grabbed it, then ate it, and I suddenly grew in size. I even gained 5 more hearts. Toad was right. This mushroom made me feel so much stronger than I was before. I looked down the hilltop and spotted somebody fighting off in the distance. I decided to go down and see what was going on. I made it down to the bottom of the hill and saw that a group of Koopas were attacking a strange-looking creature.
Yoshi!
I ran over to the group and took down one of the Koopas. You're not taking this creature anywhere. The Koopas began to attack me, but thanks to the super mushroom, I was more than capable of handling them. 2 Koopas came at me, and I used my iron sword to stop it and then jump on its head to finish them off. The other Koopas noticed and then fled. I ran over to the creature who introduced himself as Yoshi.
Yoshi!
I introduced myself and then told them that we should get away from this place before the other Koopas decided to come back. Yoshi agreed to come with me back to my base. On days 15 to 16, Yoshi and I returned, and Toad was glad to see both of us. Toad and I quickly used the resources that I left over and built a nice little pen for him to stay in.
Yoshi!
You like your new home?
Yoshi!
I'm glad to hear it. I then noticed he seemed a little off. Everything all right?
Yoshi!
You know where Bowser's castle is, and you managed to escape from there?
Yoshi!
And the Koopas followed you until I found you? Now I knew the location where Princess Peach was being held. Speaking of the princess, I started working on the foundation of my new Mushroom Kingdom castle. I knew once I saved her, she would need a nice place to stay. I collected some seeds and used some leftover iron to craft a bucket to collect water. I returned to base and used the seeds to start a new farm. This will eventually give Yoshi something to eat. It's time I pay Bowser a visit though. Toad approached me and said,
You're not strong enough to face Bowser yet!
I told Toad that he was most likely right, but if there's a chance that I could save the princess, I had to take it. I left the base and headed straight for Bowser's castle. On days 17 to 18, I arrived at Bowser's massive castle, and boy, was it a sight to see. There were Koopas all around, way too many for me to fight. I had to sneak around and find Princess Peach. I made my way through until I eventually saw her. She was being held in a cage. I was going to run up, but I saw that Bowser Jr. was there, guarding her.
Junior!
Suddenly, it felt like an earthquake was shaking the entire castle, only to find out that it was a large dinosaur with a spiked turtle shell walking towards us.
Did I hear you haven't gotten rid of that blasted Mario yet?
Yes, Father, but there was nothing I could do.
The dinosaur roared in anger and breathed out a large amount of fire.
Don't make me do this myself, Junior. Finish the job next time.
This must have been Bowser. He looked way too strong for me to confront right now. The two of them walked off, and I was able to sneak up to Princess Peach's cage. Princess! She was relieved to see me and recognized me from the day she got kidnapped. I'm getting you out of here, Princess.
It's you, Mario, right? Listen, you're not strong enough to save me. You can't be here.
Suddenly, footsteps can be heard.
Here, take this and give it to my friend Toad. He'll know what to do. Now go!
I grabbed the item, and it appeared to be some kind of fire essence. I wanted to stay, but I had no choice but to leave the princess and make my escape. I looked over and spotted another one of the pipes inside of the castle and made my way down. Whoa! Ouch! I fell out of the pipe and landed inside of a strange cave. This cave was nothing like the one I was in last time. There was lava everywhere and a broken bridge across it. It looked as though to get out, I was gonna have to jump my way across. Woohoo! Ow! An arrow hit me, and I noticed skeletons standing on the bridge. Hey, I'm not target practice, you jerks. They didn't listen, though, and they kept shooting. I guess I should get out of here. I jumped over the lava and ran past the arrows until I finally reached the end of the cave. Phew, that was close. The end led me to a bunch of iron ore. Perfect. I needed more equipment. I used my iron pickaxe to mine as much of the resources as I could. I then used it to craft myself an iron armor to protect me. I knew that this would keep me safe as I continued looking for more of those special plants. I looked and saw that there was an entrance that led out of the cave. I think I'm a good distance away from Bowser's castle. I left the cave and made my way back to base. On days 21 and 24, I returned back to base, and Toad could tell that I was upset. I told him that I wasn't able to save Princess Peach, but she told me to give him something. I handed him the fire essence, and I can tell that Toad was filled with excitement. What is it?
This is a good sign, Mario. Now we have a real shot against Bowser.
Toad told me that he needed more time to look into this, and that he would tell me once he's figured it out. In the meantime, I decided to build up more of the base and make it look more like Mushroom Kingdom. I used the resources that I left over and started making a new version of Princess Peach's castle. Hopefully I can make it almost as good as the original. I then turned my attention to my own house. I wanted it to be a little bit more roomy, especially for me to stay in. I finished up the upgrades and checked with Toad to see if he's figured something out.
The next thing that you'll need is the fire flower.
Toad said that I would need to get the fire plant seeds in order to grow the full flower. Great. Tell me where to head off to. Toad said that it wasn't gonna be that easy. He knew who owned the seeds, but they aren't an easy person to persuade.
Good luck, Mario. You will need it.
I arrived at the owner's location and found myself in front of a large racing course. This place looks sick. I wonder who had the fire plant seeds here.
Come on, you'll be.
I turned to see a man that looked just like me, but yellow. Are you the one who has the fire plant seeds?
That's right. I, Wario, have the fire plant seeds, and I'm not giving them away for free.
Wario had the one thing that I needed to save Princess Peach. All right, what do I need to do to get the seeds from you?
All you have to do is beat me in my race course. If you win, the seeds are all yours. But that will never happen. Ha ha ha!
If that's what it's gonna take to get those seeds, then you're on, Wario. He told me to come back the next day with my very own racing cart. I went off to a nearby cave and mined more iron and other resources. I even was able to find redstone to add some color into it. I quickly went to work making it, and done. This cart should do the trick just fine. On days 30 to 33, Wario and I got into our carts and were at the starting line of his racing course.
The rules are simple. Whoever gets to the finish line first wins.
That sounded easy enough, but I spoke too soon because as soon as I looked down at the course, I noticed that it was going to be a lot more difficult than I thought. A siren sounded off, and the race began. The two of us went down a steep hill. Wario had the lead on me because I was trying to be careful and not hit any of the obstacles. He's raced this course so many times, so of course he would have the advantage. I sped up my cart and eventually caught up to him. I finally had a lead on him.
The only one who's going to win in my course is me.
Wario tried to ram his cart against mine, but I avoided it, and he crashed into the side of the track. Great! Now that he's out of the picture, I easily made my way through the course. And done! I crossed the finish line. I got out, and Wario came up to me. He was clearly upset.
No, no, no! Wario! You weren't supposed to win!
A deal's a deal. Hand over the fire plant seeds. Wario reluctantly gave me the seeds, and suddenly there was a large explosion. We both turned around to see that Wario's racing course was being completely destroyed by Bowser.
Enough waiting around, Mario! I know you're here! Show yourself!
His fire was engulfing the entire track. I knew that I stood no chance against him right now. I wanted to fight, but I swallowed my pride and ran off, heading back to base. I made it back to base and was completely out of breath. I continued making more upgrades to the base. This castle definitely wasn't going to build itself. With all the revisions I did, this place was starting to look a lot better. I then went over to check on Yoshi and noticed that he looked very sad. What's wrong?
Yoshi!
You miss your family and want to check and see if they're okay? Don't worry, we can go and check on them together. I hopped on top of Yoshi's back. He started to run and was super fast. Woohoo! We rode off towards his home. On days 38 to 39, we were riding towards Yoshi's home when we saw a cloud of smoke in the air. Oh no, Yoshi's family could be in trouble. We arrived, and it looked like Yoshi lived on an island. It was being attacked by Bowser Jr. and a bunch of Koopas. The Koopas surrounded Yoshi's family, and we came in and rammed one of them away.
Mario, you're here? Now I can get rid of you and finally regain my father's respect.
I got off of Yoshi and began my battle. I quickly attacked the Koopa with my iron sword and jumped on its head to defeat it. I took the rest of the Koopas down, but right when I finished, Bowser Jr. hit me, and it really hurt. He then stood over me and was ready to deal the finishing blow.
Say goodbye, Mario.
Suddenly, Yoshi came charging in and knocked Bowser Jr. away from me. Together, Yoshi and I started to attack Bowser Jr. He was still far stronger than I was, but with Yoshi, we were able to put up a good fight.
I'll get you, Mario.
As we watched Bowser Jr. flee away from Yoshi's island, the other Yoshis came out of hiding. They thanked me for rescuing them and gave me a reward. It was 2 diamonds. Wow, thanks guys. I used the diamonds and crafted myself a new diamond sword. Yoshi didn't want to leave his family, so I decided to take them with us back to base. As we returned to base, I collected some more wood on the way and expanded Yoshi's pen to make room for his family. I also expanded our farm. That should be enough food for his family. Yoshi's family were grateful for their new home, and it was good to see him reunited with them. Toad came over to me and said that he wanted to show me something. I followed him over to the fire plant, and it was fully grown. This is great, Toad.
I know! Go ahead and use it!
I absorbed the fire plant. Suddenly, my clothes changed, and I turned into Fire Mario. I gained another 5 hearts as well. With this new upgrade, I felt much stronger, and I can shoot fireballs out of my hands. This is amazing. Now, I can go and save Princess Peach.
No! You're not ready to save Princess Peach yet! There's still more upgrades you need!
No, Toad. I'm tired of waiting. I need to go and rescue the princess now. Ignoring Toad's advice, I ran off towards Bowser's castle. On days 44 to 47, I made it to Bowser's castle. The place was still swarming with Koopas, but I didn't care. Now that I had my fire upgrade, those guys were nothing to me. I began my assault on the castle and surprised all of them. They came to attack me, but I easily took them down with some fireballs. I felt so confident about my fire upgrade. If it was that easy to take down the Koopas, beating Bowser shouldn't be a problem at all. I made my way into the throne room, and I noticed that Bowser was standing there in front of Princess Peach.
Mario, you need to leave. You're not ready to face Bowser.
Don't worry, Princess. I've got this.
Is that so? Well then, give it your best shot.
I gathered all of my strength and blasted Bowser with a fireball. That ought to show you.
That tickled. You want to see real firepower? This is real firepower.
Bowser roared and hit me with a large beam of flames. The blast sent me across the entire room. How was that even possible? The blast was so great that I nearly lost all of my hearts. Koopas arrived and surrounded my weak body.
Take him and put him in the dungeons.
On days 48 to 50, I was trapped in a cage in the dungeons. Oh, what happened?
You lost. That's what happened.
I looked over and saw Bowser staring up at me.
Now that you're here, nothing will stop me from my conquest. Soon, my plan will come to fruition, and this entire world will be mine.
Bowser told me that he had heard rumors that I've been building another Mushroom Kingdom.
Don't worry, that will belong to me as well. Enjoy your stay here, Mario.
Bowser laughed and walked away from me. I felt completely defeated. I'm sorry, Princess Peach. I got too cocky. All of a sudden, a strange figure was sneaking around the throne room. Suddenly, I had a flashback of the man. He and I were growing up together, saving the world. Wait a minute. You're Luigi, my brother.
Oh, that's right, and I'm here to get you out of here.
Luigi broke me out of my cage and told me that Toad sent him. That's amazing. With Luigi's help, we both escaped Bowser's castle together. On days 51 and 53, Luigi and I returned to base, and Toad was there waiting for us. He was glad to see that Luigi saved me, but I apologized to him for not listening before. You were right, Toad. I shouldn't have gone off like that.
Don't worry about it, Mario. You'll save the princess soon.
Now that my brother was a part of the group, I decided to build him a nice little home. He thanked me for the new house, but he said something was off about it. Off?
Yeah, but don't worry about it. I'll fix it up later.
Okay. I thanked Luigi for saving me again, but told him that I needed to find a way to become more powerful and stop Bowser.
Why don't you just collect the star?
The star? What are you talking about? Luigi said that the star is a sacred item that grants the user power like none other. Toad then walked up and said he was waiting to tell me about this item when I was more prepared.
You need to unlock the passageway that will lead you directly to it.
Toad said that I needed to obtain the 3 coins that would unlock the path to the star. It was frustrating that I was so far away from beating Bowser, but if this will help me, I'm all for it. After my last encounter with Bowser, I knew that I needed a better way to protect myself. I ventured out into the world and found a massive cave. Maybe I can find some resources there. I went deep inside and eventually spotted some diamonds. I collected them and had enough to craft myself a diamond chest plate and some diamond boots. This would be a good starting point for making a full diamond armor set. I had just left the cave when suddenly a bomb flew by me. I jumped away from the explosion and saw that it was Bowser Jr. and some Koopas.
Mario, you think you can just escape my father's wrath? Think again!
Bowser Jr. flew above me and continued to throw his bombs. I dodged them, but then the Koopas ran in. A Koopa hit me, but thanks to my new diamond armor, it had no effect. I then used my fireballs to quickly defeat it. I charged at the other Koopa. The last Koopa came out at me. Before I can counter, Bowser Jr. hit both of us with his bomb. Ouch. I tried to hit Bowser Jr. with a fireball, but I couldn't reach him. His flying machine made him so hard to fight.
You'll never be able to hit me from here!
He was right. I stood no chance against him, so I had no choice but to run and escape Bowser Jr.
Coward!
On days 57 to 58, I made my way towards the location of the first coin.
I discovered that the first coin can be found inside of a desert temple. It may look ordinary, but you'll soon find out that it's not.
I made it to the temple and went inside. I looked around the place, and Toad was right. This wasn't just some ordinary temple. It kind of looked familiar. I saw a pipe at the center of it and had a hunch that the coin was down there. I jumped on top of the pipe and fell through to find myself inside of a strange desert world. I could see the coin in the distance, but there were Koopas that were blocking my path. I knew that this wasn't going to be easy. I used a fireball to open a path and took down the Koopas one by one. More of them started to show up, and I knew that fighting them individually was a waste of time. I came up with an idea and let all the Koopas close in on me. Then, when they got close enough, I spun around and took down the entire group. Sweet. I then quickly made my way over to the coin. Woohoo! This is awesome. I walked in front of it and collected it. Nice. 1 down, 2 more to go. I made my way back to base, feeling really confident about getting the first coin. I was that much closer to saving Princess P. Whoa! A large blast passed by and barely missed me. I turned to see Bowser was there.
Good. You decided to dodge instead of taking it on. I guess you're not as weak as I thought.
Bowser, mock me all you want, but pretty soon, I'm gonna be more powerful than you and beat you once and for all. Bowser then noticed the coin in my hand, and I quickly hit it.
So you're looking for that, huh? Well, I won't let you find it.
It looks like he knew about the star. Bowser roared another blast at me, but I dodged it, and I threw a fireball at him. It didn't even faze him. He charged at me and knocked me to the ground. He was still too strong for me. Bowser walked towards me. I needed to escape. I saw that below the edges, there was a lake below. I quickly jumped into the lake and swam away as Bowser watched me.
Son!
Yes, Father?
Mario is after the Invincibility Star. Find him and stop him now!
As you wish, Father.
On days 61 to 62, I made it back to base, frustrated that I still couldn't beat Bowser. I walked inside of the base and noticed that Luigi's house was gone and replaced with a large building. What are you doing, Luigi?
Remember when I told you something about my house was missing? I think I figured it out.
My brother told me that he was working on making a mansion for himself to live in. Wow, talk about fancy. I went over to Toad and told him that I found the first coin.
Excellent! While you were gone, I looked for more information on the other coins and found this.
He handed me a map and told me where I can find the next one. Perfect. Thanks, Toad. I decided to work more on the base and continued building up the new mushroom castle. I was getting close to completing it. Afterwards, I left the base and headed towards the location of the next coin. The map told me that the next coin was located deep inside of the Arctic. I followed it until I came across a group of penguins. They were standing around a pipe and seemed to be afraid. I went over and asked them what was wrong.
We were forced out by an army of Koopas. Now we're homeless.
Don't worry, little guy. I'll go in there and kick out your uninvited guests. The penguins were grateful for my help. I jumped on top of the pipe and went inside. I fell through and I was shocked to see what's become of the penguins' home. The place was a complete wreck. All of the icy area was covered in lava. I saw the Koopas there and it looked like they were looking for something. Were they trying to find the second coin? I charged in and quickly took care of them. I used my diamond sword to take down a Koopa. Then, I used my fireballs to take down the rest of the group. That's what you get for ruining someone's home. I made it inside of the place and found the second coin in the center of the palace. I collected it, but was upset to see that I couldn't save the penguin's home. Bowser was going to pay for this. On days 65 to 66, I made it out of the pipe, and the penguins were outside waiting for the good news. I told them that I took care of the Koopas, but I was too late to save their home. The penguins were sad to hear that.
Now where are we supposed to live?
I offered them to come and stay with me, and we went back to base. Once we arrived, I asked Yoshi if he could help me make homes for our new guests, and he happily agreed. The two of us went to work, and we quickly built a home for the penguins to stay in. I know that this isn't much, but I hope this could be a new place you can call home. The penguins thanked me for this, and I went off to talk to Toad. He was outside of Luigi's house, and this place looked a lot different.
I know, impressive, right?
It looked like this was Luigi's new mansion, and boy was it huge. You really outdid yourself, man. My brother thanked me for the compliment and went inside to go rest. I told Toad that I found a second coin, and he was impressed.
How about you get some rest? I'll find more info on the next coin.
I agreed with him and went into my house and rested for the night. I immediately woke up in the middle of the night. What was that noise and what is going on? Toad was outside of Luigi's mansion. He seemed really scared. What's wrong, Toad? You look like you've seen a ghost.
I did see a ghost! Several ghosts took Luigi and trapped him inside of his mansion!
Oh no. I had to go in there and rescue him. I went inside. It was completely quiet. Oh man, this place is creepy. I slowly made my way through it. It gave off a very scary vibe and brought chills down my spine. Luigi! Luigi! Where are you? I kept going deeper into the mansion when, out of nowhere, a ghost appeared in front of me. Ah! Oh, I gotta get out of here. I gotta get out of here now. Luigi was there, and he was completely surrounded by ghosts.
Mario, help me!
Okay, don't worry, brother. I'll save you. I threw a fireball at the ghosts, and they scattered away.
Whoa, whoa, whoa. We don't want any trouble.
I stopped my attack, and the ghosts explained that they really liked Luigi's mansion. They just wanted to live here? Well, I'm sorry, but my brother's afraid of ghosts, but you're more than welcome to have a home for yourselves if you want. The ghosts agreed, and I quickly built a small home next to Luigi's. They were so grateful for it. One of them told me that he heard that I was looking for the final coin.
Your brother kind of screamed it as he was running away in fear.
I told him that I was, and the ghost said that the final coin was being guarded by a giant womp. I don't even know what that is.
Oh, trust me, soon you will, and that thing is scary.
The ghost then told me in order to defeat it, I would have to become a giant version of myself.
The only item that would ever allow that is the Mega Mushroom.
Mega Mushroom? Huh. I better go off then and find it. On days 69 to 70, I was at my base and noticed that Yoshi was by himself looking out in the distance. Hey, what's wrong? Why aren't you spending time with your family?
Yoshi!
Yoshi told me that more of his people are somewhere out in the world. He didn't want to be captured captured by Bowser and his men. Don't worry, pal. Once we stop Bowser, your people will never have to worry about him ever again.
Yoshi!
He said that the reason he joined me was because he thought that I had the best chance of saving the world, making it peaceful once again. He said that he still believed that, and he would do whatever it takes to help me achieve that goal. I thanked him for everything, and promised him that everything was gonna be okay. Yoshi agreed with me, and went off to go be with his family. As I watched him, I knew that I would need to protect this world. Toad then came over, and told me that he found the location of the Mega Mushroom. I quickly ran out of the base, and journeyed towards there. Toad told me that the Mega Mushroom can be found in the swamps.
The Mega Mushroom grants the user a massive amount of power, but only for a limited time. That should be more than enough to beat the swamp.
I was deep inside and started my search for the mushroom. I eventually came across the hilltop, and Koopas were all around it, surveying the area. It looks like Bowser caught on to my upgrades.
Look, it's Mario. Get him.
The Koopas charged at me, and I prepared myself for a battle. I took the first one down by jumping on top of its head. The second one tried to hit me, but I dodged and used my diamond sword to easily defeat it. I used my fireball to take care of the last of them, and finally reached the hilltop. Just as stated, the Mega Mushroom was here. I collected it and decided that it's best to not use it yet. Time to go find the final coin and fight off its guardian. On days 73 to 75, I made my way through the Badlands until I spotted Bowser Jr. blocking my path.
You're not gonna get that coin, Mario!
Yeah, we'll see about that, Junior. Our fight began, and he flew towards me, throwing his bombs. I quickly dodged the explosion and tried jumping onto his machine, but he was too fast, and I missed him. Bowser Jr. managed to hit me with one of his bombs and sent me flying across the area. He flew over and laughed at me.
You fool! You'll never beat me as long as I'm on my machine!
You know what, Junior? You're right. I don't need to worry about you. I ran over and went right below his machine. Then, I jumped up and punched it. The machine exploded and sent Bowser Jr. falling to the ground. I could tell that he was afraid of me.
Please don't hurt me!
I watched as Bowser Jr. ran off. Oh man, poor guy. He's just a kid. I hope he takes care of himself. I then continued heading for the final coin. I arrived at the mountainous area and looked for the person guarding it. The ghost said that a giant thwomp would be protecting the coin, but all I saw was a giant spiky rock. The rock turned around and it revealed a menacing face. I'm guessing you're a thwomp, right? I told the thwomp that I needed the final coin to get the invincibility star, but he didn't seem too happy to give it to me.
You want this coin? You're going to have to beat me in a fight.
We began our duel, and I quickly ran in and hit the thwomp with my diamond sword. Ow, what's this guy made of? Steel? The thwomp then slowly rose above me, and once it was high enough, he then came charging down and slammed itself into the ground. It launched me far away. Ow! I wanted to save the Mega Mushroom for later, but I had no choice. I needed to beat this thing. I absorbed the mushroom, and suddenly, I grew into a giant-sized Mario. Woohoo! I was huge. I stomped my way over to the thwomp, towering over it. I punched down on it and easily destroyed it. This Mega Mushroom was no joke. I could feel its effects wearing off though, and I shrunk back to normal size. Well, I guess it was fun while it lasted. I collected the final coin and spotted a cave nearby. Maybe I should get more upgrades. I ventured inside and found some more diamonds. I mined all of them and had enough to craft the rest of my diamond armor. Now that I was fully equipped, I left the area and made my way back to base. On days 80 to 81, I returned to base and told Toad that I was able to beat the giant thwomp. I even retrieved the last coin.
This is great, Mario! Now you'll be able to get that invincibility star!
That's right. But first, I wanted to finish completing my base. I used some materials that I collected from the cave and was able to finally complete the new mushroom castle. I stood outside the castle and admired my work.
Oh, wow.
Luigi and the others showed up and were all shocked at the view. That's right, guys. This is all of our castle now. This is the new Mushroom Kingdom. We went inside and I showed them around the place.
Mario, this looks just like the old Mushroom Castle, but better! The princess is gonna love this!
I hope so. Once I save her, maybe things can finally go back to normal. It was time to go find the invincibility star. I left my house to go talk with Toad. Toad told me that the 3 coins were actually keys. I needed them to unlock something that would take me to the Rainbow Road teleporter. Rainbow Road? What's that place?
Once you place the 3 coins down, it should allow you to enter the Rainbow Road Temple. That's where you'll find the invincibility star.
He said that the teleporter was located in the Badlands. I guess guess it's time to go and find it. I made my way through the Badlands until I came across a strange platform lying on the ground. This must have been the teleporter. I walked up and saw that there were 3 spots. I placed the coins on each one. Nothing happened at first, but suddenly the beacon started lighting up around the entire device. While they were lighting up, the ground started to shake around me. I looked around the beacons and they were all forming rainbow colors. I guess it's working. Suddenly, there was a large flash of light, and the next thing I knew, I was teleported. On days 87 and 90, I was outside the Rainbow Road Temple. As I went into the room, there was a strange lady standing there. And was that? It was the Invincibility Star.
Mario, I have been waiting for you.
You know who I am? The lady said yes and introduced herself as Rosalina. She said that she was the overseer of the entire galaxy. She's apparently been watching my entire journey and wondered if I was worthy enough to use the star.
I can't just freely give the star to anyone. What do you plan to do with it?
I told Rosalina that I planned on using it to save Princess Peach and to end Bowser's reign of terror. Bowser needs to be stopped. If he isn't, he's gonna rule all of Minecraft. I'm the only one who can stop him. Rosalina was reluctant at first, but she decided to believe in me. She then handed me the Invincibility Star. My goodness. Thank you, Rosalina. I promise that I'll make the world right again. Suddenly, there was another large flash, and I found myself inside of my base. I guess Rosalina gave me a trip back. Toad ran up and was surprised to see me here.
Were you able to get the star?
I showed it to him, and Toad was filled with excitement. Now I can go and save Princess Peach. I know that this wasn't going to be easy, especially since Bowser was going to be expecting me. I gathered everyone and let them know that I was going to rescue the princess. I told them that I would need all of their help in getting her, and Yoshi was the first one to step up. Thanks, buddy.
Oh, I'm coming too.
You know what, Luigi? I think it's better if you stay here. You're the only one that can defend this place while I'm gone. He reluctantly agreed, and I told everyone to wish us luck and hopped on Yoshi. Let's do this, pal.
Yoshi!
The two of us rode off and headed for Bowser's castle. Don't worry, Peach. I'm on my way. On days 95 to 97, we arrived outside of Bowser's castle and slowly looked over to see that an army of Koopas were all around it. We needed a distraction to keep them occupied.
Yoshi!
You have an idea?
Yoshi!
All right, sounds good. Just be careful. Yoshi went over and started going around the castle for all the Koopas to see him. All of the Koopas chased Yoshi, and he led them out of the castle. While he was distracting them, I walked through and reached the throne room where Princess Peach was being held. I went inside, and Bowser was there, sitting on his throne, but surprisingly was asleep. Shh! I'm here to get you out of here.
Mario?
She asked if I was able to get the star, and I told her that I did. I freed her from the cage, and the two of us quietly snuck out of the throne room. Yoshi was outside waiting for us. Suddenly, I heard a roar, and Bowser was awake from his slumber. We made a break for it, but Bowser fired off a blast that gravely wounded Yoshi.
Yoshi!
We ran off and left Bowser's castle, leaving him enraged. We made it back to base, and Toad ran over to us. He was glad to see us, but I was too focused on Yoshi. He fell to the ground, and I told Toad to go and get help. Yoshi, come on, buddy. Everything's gonna be all right. Princess Peach then looked at me and told me that Yoshi wasn't gonna make it. No, I refuse to believe that. Please, Yoshi, fight.
Yoshi!
Toad came running back, but it was already too late. Yoshi was gone. I decided to go and build a grave. Out of all of my friends, he was one of the most brave. I'm so sorry, Yoshi. I promise that I'm gonna go stop Bowser once and for all and make the world a better place. Princess Peach then came over and told me that she wanted to thank me for saving her.
I overheard that Bowser was planning to make a full scale on Minecraft and turn it into his new empire.
Not if I have anything to say about it. I told the princess that I was going to go back to Bowser's castle and end this. Now.
Not by yourself, you're not.
I agreed with my brother, and the two of us went off to go face Bowser. On day 99, both Luigi and I arrived at Bowser's castle. We looked in front of us, and there was a huge army of Koopas blocking us from the entrance. Are you ready for this, brother?
I wouldn't have it any other way.
All right, let's do this. We charged in and began our assault on the Koopas. I threw fireballs and began to thin out the group, while he used an iron sword and was doing the same. The Koopas tried to counter, but my diamond armor protected me from their attacks. A Koopa charged at me, but I ran up and hit him, sending him flying into the sky. There were less Koopas now. I looked over and saw an open path straight to the throne room. Luigi told me that he was going to take care of the rest of the Koopas, while I ran off and made my way to go confront Bowser. On day 100, I reached the top of Bowser's tower, and Bowser was there waiting for me.
I knew you'd come back. Once I get rid of you, this world will belong to Bowser.
This world doesn't belong to you, and I'm gonna make sure that it won't. I pulled out the invincibility star and absorbed it, and I transformed into Star Mario. It's time to end this, Bowser. Our fight began, and Bowser immediately fired a blast of energy at me. I quickly dodged it. That was close. I went over and punched him. The blow sent him across the roof, and I can tell that I was hurting him. We started to fight back and forth, dealing blow for blow. Bowser then ran towards me and slammed me to the ground.
After I stop you, I'm going to take over the Mushroom Kingdom, and nothing will stand in my way.
I then knocked Bowser back with the fireball. I won't let you hurt anyone else, ever again. I gathered all of the power of the invincibility star and punched Bowser.
Curse you, Mario!
It looks like he's taken care of. All of Minecraft in the Mushroom Kingdom was finally saved from Bowser's grasp. On day 1, I spawned in as Zeus on top of Mount Olympus. Look at this. I had this sweet lightning bolt weapon. Suddenly, my brother Poseidon and my favorite daughter Athena came rushing towards me.
Zeus, Olympus is under attack. We need your help.
What's going on? I just spawned in. They didn't have time to answer though, because an explosion happened and our entire Olympus was filled with powerful titans. Oh no, this isn't good. Just then, the most powerful titan, Kronos, appeared in front of us.
My weak children, your time as rulers of this world is over.
Kronos wasn't only the most powerful titan, but also my father. Father, we defeated you once, and we'll defeat you again. He rushed at us using all of his powers, though. He quickly hit Poseidon and Athena, passing them directly off Mount Olympus. It was just me and him left. I won't let you get away with this, do you hear me? He laughed as he hit me, knocking me off of Mount Olympus. I was falling from the sky. I crash landed in an ancient Greek village, directly into one of the houses. Oh man, what's going on? I noticed how my lightning bolt was also missing. I checked my inventory and saw I had some of the wood from the house I crashed into. Before I had time to orient myself, though, I was confronted by the owner of the house. What do you want, puny villager? The villager called for the guards to help. I tried to run, but I felt so weak. I wasn't able to get out of the house before the guards arrived. The guards began attacking me, and I tried to fight them off, but was defenseless without my lightning bolt. I had to surrender. I was captured and taken as prisoner. This is no way to treat a god. Stop! On day 3, I woke up in my prison cell, still feeling extremely weak until I remembered. I had wood from the house I crashed into. I quickly made myself a crafting table and used it to craft myself a wooden pickaxe and a wooden sword to fight with. I waited until the guard wasn't looking and then used my pickaxe to break myself out of the prison cell. I did my best to sneak away from the guard, but he spotted me. Oh no, I had to run. I was still extremely weak and only had a wooden sword. Thankfully, I was able to escape. I ran as fast as I could. I knew more guards would be after me once they realized I was gone. I had not gotten far from the city when my brother, Hades, the god of death, appeared from the underworld in front of me. Brother, where were you when Olympus was under siege? We needed your help.
I was in the underworld. The Titans are too powerful for us to defeat.
Don't say that. We were able to defeat them once, and we're gonna be able to do it again.
Bozo, I have sided with them. I suggest you do the same. Our time as rulers has come to an end.
I would never side with those monsters. How could you betray us?
Such a shame that they will kill you too.
On day 4, I was traveling for what seemed like days and noticed I was starting to starve. I searched the area and came across a group of sheep. I began to take them down and gather their meat as well as wool. I ate the meat, and while it wasn't much, I could feel myself growing stronger. Whoa, my lightning bolt is back. Before I could celebrate, I heard rumblings of lightning in the distance. I looked to the sky and I noticed it was completely different. The entire sky was dark and red. The Titans' rule on Olympus was already starting to affect the world. They must be stopped. I was still far too weak to travel back to Olympus and fight them. I decided it was best to start up a base. I crafted myself a wooden axe and chopped down some nearby trees. Once I had gathered enough materials, I found a nice location to start my base. I built a small wooden house and placed a few chests inside as well as a bed. By this time, it was getting late, so I went to sleep for the night. The next day, I was out searching the world for any signs of the Titans. I traveled far away from my base when a flaming beast landed in front of me.
This world is even more pathetic than I thought it would be.
Who are are you? And why are you here?
Kronos sent me to begin destroying the world even better. I found one of his pathetic children to destroy with it.
The beast leapt into me and hit the ground in front of me, dealing a ton of damage and knocking me back. I did my best to fight back, but my lightning powers were still so weakened. The beast attacked me with his claws, and I did my best to attack him with my wooden sword, but it barely did any damage.
Weak God, your time is over!
Before he could deal the final blow, a hippogriff flew in and startled the beast for a second.
Hop on.
I did as the hippogriff asked and hopped onto him. We flew away from the beast back toward my base. Thank you so much for saving me. I really owe you one.
Don't worry about it. My name is Dewey.
Well, it's nice to meet you, Dewey. I quickly started to grab some stone nearby. I used it to craft a set of stone tools. Next, to show my gratitude for the hippogriff, I constructed him a small shelter to live in next to my house. He told me that he didn't have a home, so this is the least I can do. On day 6, I had a weird dream. I was back on top of Mount Olympus. I began walking around, taking in the destruction until I spotted Kronos. Father, what have you done with Mount Olympus?
I restored it to its original glory, as it was when I ruled the world.
You're a monster. I'm gonna defeat you again.
You'll never be able to stop me by yourself. I am far more powerful than before, and it was a god who freed me. You stand no chance.
What? A god freed you? But who? Who would have done that? He didn't answer, and he charged at me. But right before he hit me, I woke up to the sounds of horns in the distance. I ran outside to investigate what the horns were. I saw a group of villagers, and they looked like they were searching for something or someone. Oh, that's not good. They must be looking for me. I quickly made a dash back to my base. And when I had arrived, there was a mountain that randomly formed. What is going on? I walked up the mountain, and on top of it, there was a mysterious woman there. Who are you? How did you find my base?
I am the mother of Cronus, your grandmother. I know all that happens on this planet.
Why are you here?
To tell you how you can defeat Cronus again. You will need to become more powerful than you ever were in order to do so.
She also told me that I would need to gather my brothers, Poseidon and Hades. That is not possible. Poseidon, he's gone, and Hades sided with the Titans.
Poseidon is only captured, not gone, and you will need to convince Hades to rejoin the side of the gods.
How am I ever gonna do that? Hades is the most stubborn person I know, and I'm so much weaker than I was when I first defeated the Titans.
You are just gonna have to figure it out. You are a god after all.
Gaia vanished before I could ask her more questions. First things first, I knew I had to find my brother, Poseidon. On day 8, I set out for Poseidon's temple. I listened to what Gaia said and stopped by a cave to mine iron. She said I would need to become more powerful than I ever was in order to defeat the Titans. I found as much iron as I could and used it to craft myself an iron set of tools, as well as an iron helmet. I was starting to feel stronger, more like my old self actually. I was getting ready to leave the mine when I heard something behind me. I wasn't able to make out what it was, so I went deeper into the mine. I heard a large rumble from the cave and realized it was starting to collapse. I ran as fast as I could to the exit, but the cave collapsed in front of me. It was dark, but luckily, I was able to find some coal so I could craft some torches. I had to find another way out, so I made my way around the cave, looking for any signs of an exit. Finally, after some traveling, I was able to spot some light, which had been coming from the surface. Oh, thank goodness. I really need to be more careful than that. I started to make my way to Poseidon's Sea Temple. On day 9, I made it to the beach near Poseidon's temple. I saw a group of turtles gathered, cowering in fear. I approached them and asked them what was wrong. The turtles explained to me that they were being attacked by a monster. It had shown up a few days ago and was causing havoc to them. I asked them where the monster was, and before they could tell me, a massive cyclops appeared and roared. This must be the creature they're talking about. I began to fight the beast off. He was strong, but with some of my strength back, I knew I could take him. He got a few good hits in, but I was able to take him down using my iron sword and lightning bolt. It's good to have this thing back. After defeating him, I felt myself growing stronger. Whoa, look at that. And my lightning bolt looks like it has another ability to it. I approached the turtles, and they were extremely grateful for me taking down the monster. I hadn't been on Earth in so long, and I have to admit, it felt pretty good helping these less fortunate creatures. I wish I thought about that when I landed in the village. I knew Poseidon's temple was deep underwater, though. I asked the turtles if they would be able to help me. The turtles were happy to help, and they tossed me a potion of underwater breathing. Oh, thanks, guys. This is really gonna come in handy. On day 10, I was swimming through the ocean on my way to Poseidon's temple when I spotted something at the bottom. It was shiny, and it definitely didn't look like anything that belonged. Oh, what? It was my chest plate. I assumed it had been destroyed when when I was hit by Kronos on day 1. I wonder if all my armor has been scattered around the world. I'm gonna need to keep an eye out for them. I equipped it and continued on my journey to Poseidon's temple. When I arrived, it looked like it had been attacked. This place was in ruins. I made my way inside and searched the temple for any signs of Poseidon, but he was nowhere to be found. Where could he be? After I finished searching the rest of the temple, I was only able to find some fish in the chest. Oh, at least I'll have food for the next few days. As I was leaving the temple, I came across a group of dolphins. Poseidon had always loved them, and I asked him if they knew where he was. The dolphins explained to me that Poseidon had never returned to his temple after going to Olympus to fight Kronos. I wonder if he was captured and is being held somewhere else then, just like Gaia said. I began my journey back to my base. I arrived back at my base, where I found the same guard villager who was trying to imprison me. I wasn't sure what he wanted, but I was beginning to take pity on the villagers. I approached him and asked what he wanted. The villager told me it was caused by a fire beast. No doubt it was the monster Kronos had sent to take over the world. We have a city to save. As we approached it, I could already see it in ruins from the Kronos' monster. I landed and approached the beast.
If it isn't the puny god, prepare to meet your end.
The beast started to attack me with his claws. I did my best to avoid them, but he was very powerful. I used my lightning abilities to fight back against him, and I could feel that I was more powerful than him.
How could this be?
The fight was long and tiring, but I pushed on, and eventually I could sense he was weak.
Your brother was not this powerful when I captured him in the mountains. How?
I'm more powerful than any Titan monster will ever be. I delivered the final blow, and he was defeated. The villagers began to come out of their homes and praise me for saving them. I looked around, and I noticed the city was in complete ruins. I offered them a place to stay at my base. The villagers were shocked. A god offering to help them? I'm just as shocked as you guys are. But no doubt, my base is a lot safer to be at than this place. On days 13 to 14, I returned to base with the villagers from the nearby city. I felt terrible for what had happened to their city and the way I treated them earlier. I got to work constructing houses for them at my base. I then took the time to expand my own house. Look at that. Starting to feel like it's fit for a god like myself. Finally, I decided I wanted to make something to symbolize hope for the people of the village. I began working on what would be a giant Zeus statue, similar to the one on Olympus. The Titan's minion had mentioned he had captured my brother in the mountains. I consulted the leader of the villagers, who, despite my new outlook, still didn't trust me.
You may have everybody else fooled, but I still know you're an ungrateful god.
Oh, please. We don't have time for this right now. I need to know where the mountains are so I can save my brother Poseidon. He explained to me that he was most likely referring to the mountains not too far from my base. They were the tallest mountains in the entire world. I thanked the villager and headed off in search for them. Days 15 to 16 started off with me heading out to finally find my brother Poseidon. I was traveling out far to different areas in the world. When I finally reached them, I walked onto the first mountain, and all of a sudden, Hades appeared right in front of me. It turned the entire mountain to death. What do you want this time, brother?
You need to stop your hopeless rescue and just let the Titans win.
No, I won't. I'm going to do what I can to make things right.
Don't you see? It's already too late.
Hades, I know they're still good in you. Please, just do the right thing, and together we can take the Titans back down. Hades stood there and looked at the ground, not knowing what to say or do. He then looked back at me.
I'm sorry, brother, but goodbye.
Wait, what? No! Hades used his power on me and sent me straight to the underworld. Oh no, I had to leave fast before it was too late. On days 17 to 18, I was trapped in the underworld. I looked around and saw death everywhere, and at the center of it was Hades' kingdom. I was about to start exploring when Gaia appeared.
Zeus, this isn't good. You must leave this place now.
I know, Gaia. That was sort of the plan. I just have to find an exit.
Well, you have to think of one fast, because the lava down there is rising by the second.
It looks like there were some souls in the lava as well. Gaia explained to me that when it reaches me, it will turn me into a soul as well, making me stuck here forever. I quickly tried to make my escape, and after a bit of searching, I saw a route back into the overworld. It was also surrounded by lava, so I had to be careful. I jumped platform by platform. It was hard, but I was finally able to do it. Look at that! I was back in the overworld, and it looks like I can see a structure in the mountains. That had to be where Poseidon was being held. I entered the structure, and when I was inside, I saw Poseidon was being held in some kind of magical field. I rushed toward him, but before I can reach him, Kronos appeared. It was a trap.
You weak god. Did you really believe I would let you free your brother this easily?
I am not weak. Your selfishness shows how weak you are, and I'm gonna defeat you once again.
Defeat me? You can't even defeat Hades, who has a fraction of my power.
I'll show you. I attacked him using my lightning bolt abilities. I can see I was dealing some damage to him, but not much.
You have become stronger, I see.
Kronos started to fight back, inflicting some serious damage to me. It seems as if I was still no match for him. Oh no.
I will turn this world to dust, and nothing can stop me.
He hit me again. It sent me flying out of the temple. I crash landed into a new location after my fight with Kronos. Oh, that fight was really one-sided. I need to get back to base, get stronger, and save my brother Poseidon. On the way back to base, I was in for a rude awakening. The Titans have taken over a random village. Thankfully, though, I saw that all the villagers made it out okay. The only thing I can do right now is sneak towards the base and not get caught. Dewey appeared. A giant lion was chasing him. Hey, cut it out! With Dewey's help, we were able to both defeat the lion.
Bowser, I've been looking everywhere for you when the Titans attacked. I thought you were in trouble.
Thanks, Dewey. Thankfully, I'm fine, but I have a lot to fill you in on. On days 24 to 26, I arrived back at my base with Dewey. While we were gone, the villagers had brought sheep and cows back and built them a pen. They said it was an offering of food for me. Wow, the village was really starting to come together, and I felt a new purpose to protect the people of this world. I really took them for granted, but I won't do it again. After my run-in with Kronos, I knew I was nowhere near powerful enough to defeat him. I decided it was best to go mining for some upgrades. I went to a nearby mine and started to search for iron. I was able to find enough to complete my iron armor set. In addition to my Zeus armor chest plate, I traveled back to my base and approached Dewey. Dewey, will you tag along with me to help free my brother from his prison?
I'm not sure, Fozo. Kronos is the most powerful Titan. I don't think I'd be much help.
Don't worry, Dewey. I can't fight him alone either, but together we can at least stand a chance.
I guess you're right.
Dewey agreed to come with me toward the mountains where Poseidon was being held. Dewey and I arrived back at the mountains where Poseidon was and made sure Kronos was not hiding somewhere. When we got inside, though, we were attacked by a group of Furies. There were so many of them, and they were coming from all sides of the temple. Dewey and I fought back, and luckily, these Furies were nowhere near as tough as what I'd fought before. I was able to take them down with my lightning bolt. Poseidon was being held in some kind of magical field. I was able to break it down. Brother, are you okay?
I feel so weak. The Titans curse me.
Cursed? What do you mean?
It has taken away my powers. Athena would know how to lift it.
Athena! I was so caught up thinking about rescuing Poseidon to stop Kronos. I didn't even stop to think about her. We returned back to base, and when I arrived, Gaia was waiting for me.
I know where Athena is, but you are not ready to save her.
Where is she? How can I save my daughter?
She has been turned to stone by Medusa. One look and you'll be turned to stone. Her powers are far too strong for you to handle right now.
I'm not afraid of her. Tell me where she is.
Zeus, you must complete your armor set before you face her, or it could mean the end of our hope.
I stormed off from Gaia. I was upset with what she had told me, so I went to sleep for the night. On days 30 to 32, I woke up and decided I need to build my base up more. Now that Poseidon is here with me, he needs a place to sleep as well. I wanted him to feel right at home, so I made him a ship-themed house. It was definitely harder to do, but it was for my brother after all. I then went around and noticed that the villagers were gearing themselves up for the future Titan attacks. Wow, good call, guys. After that, I continued working on my Zeus statue. I smelted more of my cobblestone into smooth stone to use on it. There we go. That looks great. I heard a commotion and looked over to see Poseidon fighting all the villagers.
This is my food. I am a god.
Whoa, brother, calm down. This is here so we can all share. Poseidon wasn't having it and wanted all the food for himself. Wow, is this how I acted on day 2? I know we're gods, but these are our people, and they must be treated with respect as well. I made Poseidon apologize, and because of it, the villagers agreed to make a bigger farm so that everyone can have more food. Look at them go. This is way better. See, brother, treat them with respect, and you'll be respected. On days 33 to 37, I woke up to the villagers in a panic. I calmed them down. She told me not too far from here, Titans were landing from Mount Olympus and was starting a rampage across the world. Dewey, come quick. We don't have much time. I saw a massive Titan moving across the world. He was slowly converting the world to some kind of strange block. You are no match for me. Go back to where you came, and there will be no trouble.
Fury god, time to die.
The Titan launched lava at me. When they hit the ground, the lava spread. I jumped into action and used my lightning bolt. When I was close, the Titan would use his arms to bash me away. Our fight went on for a while, and right when I thought he was defeated, he was starting to get angry.
No, you will die.
I jumped up and hit him with my lightning bolt one last time, and he was defeated. I noticed he dropped something, and I picked it up. Wow, it's my helmet. I equipped it and felt my lightning bolt grow stronger. Dewey and I began traveling back toward our base. Days 38 to 41, I got back to my base, and the villagers were tending to my wounds. I thanked them. I didn't expect them to take care of me in my injured state. I need to find Athena and get Poseidon back to his full strength. Before I had time to think, a villager rushed to me and told me that someone nearby the base had been completely turned to stone. He led me to the stone villager, and I sent him back to base. I began examining the stone villager. What? How is this even possible? I looked around, and I spotted a small snake moving into the forest. Medusa. She must have been close. This is the only way someone could be turned to stone like this. I brought the stone villager back to base with me. I didn't want to alarm the other villagers, so I built a small wooden shelter for him to stay in. I knew I needed to get more powerful in order to take on Medusa and free both Athena and this villager. On days 42 to 44, I headed to a nearby cave in hopes to find some diamonds to complete my armor. After some time, I was able to find some, and I used the diamonds to craft diamond boots and diamond pants. I even had a few extra. I think I could give these to the villagers. On my way out, I also mined some iron. I think with all these ores, I can make some armor for the villagers. It's the least I could do for all their help. I returned to the village and surprised them with the armor. They were so happy and thanked me for always protecting them.
This is nice, I guess.
You're welcome? Whatever. I wonder what his deal is. I can't believe he still doesn't trust me after all that I've done. I looked for Poseidon, but couldn't find him anywhere in the village. Eventually, I found him next to the ocean. He must be trying to use his powers.
Come on, baby, give me something. Yes, it's working.
A sea monster jumped out of the water and began attacking us.
Maybe a little too much.
Luckily, with my armor upgrades, he was not dealing a ton of damage, and we both took him out fast. What happened, brother? Why couldn't you control that thing?
The only way that I control any of these creatures is with my trident. And if I want to defeat Kronos, we need to get it.
Yeah, you're right. I need to find Athena. She's gonna be able to make you a new one and restore your powers. On days 45 to 46, I went back to see Gaia. It's time for me to find and save Athena.
Are you sure you're ready to face Medusa, Zeus?
I am, Gaia. I have to be.
Fine, Zeus. Here is a map that will lead you to Athena and Medusa.
As I was about to grab the map, there was a sudden explosion. What was that? I need to know where that's coming from. I went to the place where the explosion happened, but it was surrounded by a field of death. I should have known it was you, brother.
I saw your fights with our father, Kronos. He really wiped the floor with you, didn't he?
Yeah, well, maybe that wouldn't have happened if I had you by my side.
I'm afraid I cannot do that, brother.
He started to attack me, and I defended myself from his blasts. Look at this, Hades. This only plays right into Kronos' hand.
I'm sorry, brother. This has to be done. Plus, Medusa needed a nice distraction.
Distraction? What have you done?
Maybe this will finally convince you to join the winning side.
I rushed back to the village as quickly as I could. I hope everyone's okay. I arrived back at my base and noticed everything had been turned to stone. Not just everything, but everyone as well. Oh no. If only I'd been there for them. Maybe I could have stopped Medusa. Gaia, where are you? I could really use that map. I looked for Gaia and I found her. She too, though, was turned to stone. In front of her was a piece of paper. I picked it up and looked at it. It was the map to Medusa's lair. It didn't matter if I was ready or not to face Medusa. I needed to go and defeat her. From the looks of the map, it was gonna be a long journey. Luckily, not all the crops had been changed to stone, so I was able to gather some up to make bread for my journey. I headed out of my base, following the map Gaia had left me. On days 51 to 53, I finally made it to Medusa's lair. I investigated it and found Athena. Yep, trapped in stone, just like Gaia had said. Is there any way that I can turn her back to normal? I continued to look through the lair and found some diamonds. And look, my Zeus leggings. Nice. I'm so close to completing my entire set. As I went deeper into the lair, I started to hear voices. It was Medusa, but who is she talking to? Kronos.
I already know your son is coming for Athena, but he will be no match for the likes of me.
We'll see about that, Medusa. Just be sure you get the job done.
Kronos left. I decided it was time to attack, so I jumped out from my hiding spot and attacked Medusa from behind.
Ow! That was foul play of you, bozo.
I did my best to try and avoid eye contact. I went around different hiding spots of the lair, attacking her while avoiding her.
You call yourself a god, but all I see is a coward.
I figured she was weak enough, so I went in for the final hit. As I was going in, though, she saw me coming. Oh no! I looked her right in the eyes, and she turned me completely into stone. On days 54 to 56, I awoke in a stone world. Everywhere I looked, there was nothing but stone. I couldn't believe I did this. I'd failed the world, and worst of all, I had doomed it to the Titans. How was I not strong enough to defeat Medusa? I can't give up hope now. I just can't. I decided to build myself a small house to live in. I gathered some of the stone that was abundant in the world and used it to build myself a cobblestone house. It seems like this is where I will live out the rest of my days, eternally stuck in this tiny cobblestone home. Right when I was thinking it couldn't get any worse, I was attacked by a group of snake women. They lunged at me, attacking me from all sides, and I started to fight back against the creatures and eventually took them down. I felt myself just getting weaker and weaker, though. I guess this world is just as dangerous as the Titans' rule on Earth. On days 57 to 59, I stepped outside of my home and noticed Kronos was here. Is this real?
You have failed. You were never good enough to rule Olympus. Even your own brother knew how weak you were. That's why he joined me.
Hallucination or not, I was beginning to feel hopeless. He was right. I was a failure.
Join me, son, and the possibilities will be endless.
I will never join you. I jumped at him to attack, but he dodged me.
Good luck being trapped here forever.
Kronos then vanished. Was this all in my head? I realized I couldn't give hope this easily. I decided to venture out and search more of the world. Finally, after a bit of traveling for what felt like days, I came across a stone village. I rushed over to the village to see what was there. To my surprise, all the villagers were there, along with Athena.
Father, I'm glad to see you. Myself and all the villagers are weak and starving.
She was right. I looked around the village, and all of them looked weak and desperate. I gave Athena all the food I had, but it wasn't much. Athena, I'm gonna do what I can to go out and search for food. We just can't give up hope yet. Do you understand me?
Hurry back quick. I'm not sure how much longer we can last.
I ventured out into the stone world and searched as far and wide as I possibly could, but it was useless. There was no food in this world at all. Suddenly, I was attacked by a python. The beast was quick and powerful. I was growing weaker, so I had to flee, but they were still chasing me. The sun was starting to set, and I made my way to a cave to escape and spend the night. I felt so weak and thought it might be the end when both Poseidon and Hades appeared in the cave right in front of me. Brothers!
You know this is all in your head, right, brother?
Is it Hades? Because from what it seems, I can't trust a word you say.
You call yourself a god? You should just give up. You have failed.
Don't listen to him, Fozo. You're stronger than this. Hades, you should be ashamed of yourself for what you did. You betrayed us.
Poseidon and Hades started a fight. I was too weak to do anything to stop them. Guys, just stop. Enough is enough! Poseidon and Hades vanished in front of me. I'm not gonna last in this world much longer. I think Hades is right. I lost all hope and began traveling back to the villagers to deliver the bad news. On days 63 to 65, I returned back to the stone village. All the villagers are so excited to see me until I had to tell them I was unable to find any food in our stone prison. The villagers were extremely sad, and Athena came over to comfort me.
You did your best, Father. There's nothing more you could have done.
No, I'd failed everyone in the world, and now we're doomed. The leader of the villagers approached me. He too had gone scouting for food.
Bozo, while I was traveling the world, I came across this pair of boots. I think it belongs to you.
Before he could hand it to me, the village was under attack by a group of snakes. Oh no, this is it. We're done for.
Are you kidding me? You're Zeus. You're stronger than a couple of snakes.
He dropped my boots to me.
You need to believe in yourself. We all believe in you. Be the hero that we need.
He then ran off and began fighting off the snakes. Oh man, he was right. I need to be the hero this world needs. I grabbed the boots he dropped and equipped them. Come on, believe. Believe. I felt a strong surge of power, and from my body came out a blinding light. On days 66 to 68, I'd broken out of my stone form. And whoa, that was huge. I fully upgraded. My full armor set brought me back to my original power. I was still in Medusa's lair, exactly where I'd been changed to stone.
What? How did you manage to escape?
Because I am more powerful than you or any other minion of the Titans are. Medusa charged at me, staring me right into the eyes, but I was unaffected by her powers. You can no longer turn me to stone, you snake. I used my new lightning abilities to jump in the air and deal a massive electric shock to her.
How is this possible?
You are finished. I jumped up and delivered one final strike on her, defeating her for good. I ran over to Athena. I had broken out of my stone form, but how was I going to be able to break her free? I decided to try my powers, and I leapt into the air and delivered my electric strike on her. Athena returned from her stone form.
Father, you did it!
I'm so glad to have you back, Athena. We began traveling back towards my base. Athena and I returned to my base, and I began freeing all the villagers. I jumped up and slammed the ground, causing a massive lightning shock wave and breaking everyone and everything free from their stone forms.
You did it, Thozo. You saved us.
I was able to save everyone because you guys all believed in me.
I can't believe you did it. I thought for sure you would fail.
I had a lot of help along the way. That was the only way I was able to make it through.
You were almost ready to defeat Cronus again.
With Athena back, we got to work constructing her a home. She was gonna need a place to stay, especially while we prepared to take back Olympus.
Not as nice as Olympus, but it will do.
I then got to work, continuing my statue. I started to add details to it, and it was really coming together. On days 72 to 74, I ran outside of my base and looked up. I saw the red flashes of the Titan's lightning in the sky. This can't be good. I needed to go and find out what was going on, so I called for Dewey so we can go and investigate. We noticed Titan mobs were scattered all over the world. Kronos was launching a full invasion. We spotted one of the Titan minions alone, and we realized it was our chance to take one of them down. I approached him and began to attack using my lightning bolt. The Titan was barely fighting back. You think this is funny? I was confused as to what he could be laughing about. I then looked around and realized I was completely surrounded by the Titan minions and Kronos. It was a trap.
This is how it ends for you.
I was surrounded with no way out. Kronos began attacking me. I was more powerful than I'd ever been, so I was able to fight back with some effect, but I was still no match for him without my brothers. He knocked me back to the ground, and I was starting to feel weak. Even with all my powers, I wasn't enough. How was this possible? Dewey flew in and landed in front of me.
Bowser, you have to get out of here. You're the only hope to stop them.
But Dewey, I can't leave you here.
Go to your brothers, Bowser. Together, you will stop them.
Dewey dropped me a shield. He then rushed at Kronos and began flying around him, distracting him. He struck Dewey down. Dewey, no! I wanted to stay, but I had to go. I'm never gonna forget you, Dewey. I promise. Days 78 to 80, the world now fully belongs to Kronos and the Titans. All I can see is destruction and violence. I looked around and saw Hades.
What have I done? This wasn't supposed to happen.
Is this how you envisioned the world when you freed Kronos? Like I told you, he is the enemy.
It doesn't matter. What is done cannot be undone.
He charged at me, and we began to fight. With my completed set of Zeus armor, his attacks dealt very little damage. I was much more powerful than he was now. I used my lightning abilities on him, and I could tell they were inflicting some serious damage. He looked at me weakened and confused, waiting for me to deal the final strike.
What are you doing? Do it.
No, Hades. At the end of the day, you are my brother, and I need your help to finish what you started. Siding with Kronos and the Titans was never going to work out. I showed him the destruction again and told him I would need him to make all of this go away. Are you in?
Fine, I'm with you, and I'm sorry for everything. I hope you can forgive my selfish actions.
I do, brother. Now let's go save the world. Hades and I returned to base together. He had realized his mistakes and was remorseful for them. Poseidon was reluctant at first, but he quickly came around.
I'm glad to have you back, brother.
I was still mourning for the loss of my friend and the sacrifice he made for me. I decided I would construct a small monument for him next to my statue. That way, he would be remembered. After all, I would have been nothing without him. As I finished the statue, Poseidon called for me to meet him at Athena's house. When I arrived, Athena and Poseidon were eagerly waiting for me.
Look at what Athena was able to make for me.
He revealed a brand new trident. Brother, that's amazing.
It's better and more powerful than my original one.
Both of us praised Athena and thanked her for the work she had put in to help us.
That's not all I was doing.
Athena showed us she was able to enchant all the armor for the villagers. Now they would have the blessing of the gods on their side as well. Hades, Poseidon, and I were summoned by Gaia. She explained the prophecy and how the three of us would be able to stop Kronos once and for all.
You have your old strength back, but I told you you need to be even more powerful than before to defeat Kronos.
I began to realize that I still had not reached my full potential. How would I be able to become even more powerful? It was too late for me to worry about that now, so I went to sleep for the night. On days 86 to 90, I woke to the villagers shouting. Oh no, the Titans must be attacking the base. I rushed outside and prepared to defend the villagers and my base from them. To my surprise, when I was outside of my home, there were no Titans. The shouts were not villagers screaming, but villagers cheering. I looked up and noticed the villagers had completed my statue. Thank you, but why did you do this? The villagers explained to me that days ago, they despised us for never doing anything for them. I had shown them hope and helped them through the darkest times of their lives. They said they were forever grateful to have a god as compassionate as myself. All of a sudden, I felt a surge of power and began to float up from the ground. I felt myself growing stronger and a surge of lightning overtook my body. I had been infused with electricity. I could feel my lightning bolt was even stronger, and I decided to test it out.
I told you that you would have to become more powerful, but it was not you who had to believe.
I thanked Gaia for all that she had done to prepare me for Kronos and my fight with the Titans. I could hear more rumblings of the Titans in the distance and knew that I was ready to take some of them down. I traveled out of my base and began searching for the Titans' minions. I finally spotted the group of them and rushed in to stop their chaos. I attacked one of the Titans with my lightning bolt, easily taking it down in front of the group. They weren't very happy about that and began to charge and attack me in groups. Sad day for these guys because I've never been more powerful. Their attacks don't hurt me like they used to, thanks to my final upgrade and Zeus armor. I used my lightning ability and destroyed the entire group. The god of lightning is back. This is awesome. My lightning ability is finally back to normal. I should head back to the village and rally everyone. I returned back to my base, feeling stronger than I'd ever, having defeated so many of Kronos' minions. When I arrived back, I decided to start building small villager statues around the base of my Zeus statue. They believed in me more than ever, and for that, I was eternally grateful for them. The villagers thanked me for all I'd done for them, but our celebration was short-lived by more lightning and rumblings from the sky. I knew it was now or never ever to fight Kronos. I gathered Poseidon, Hades, and Athena, along with all the villagers, and I began to say my goodbyes. I wanted to thank you all for always believing in me. Now, it is time we go and finish this for good.
We will be by your side through the whole fight, Father.
I will do what I can to make things right.
The 4 of us set off for Olympus and prepared to defeat Kronos. It was day 100. We finally made it back to Olympus. Home sweet home. Too bad the place is infested with titans. The only way to Kronos is to go straight through them. Let's get rid of them for good.
Hold on, Fozo. You need to save your strength for Cronus. We'll take care of these titans.
All right, guys. I'll leave it to you. Athena, Poseidon, and Hades all use their powers to take down the titans. Look at them go. Athena was taking down 2 titans at once. Poseidon used his trident to weaken each titan, and Hades uses power to deal the final blow. The titans had all been defeated. All that's left now is Kronos. I charged ahead of the group. It's time for the final battle, and I confronted Kronos. It ends now, Father.
I will never give up. You are a weak god.
We began to fight. I used all my abilities to attack him from different angles. I can tell that he was not prepared for my newfound power at all.
How is this possible?
With all the newfound power that I've gotten, you stand no chance against me. We continued to fight, and I can feel he was starting to lose his power. He stood before me looking weaker than ever, but he had still not given up. He continued to attack me. Father, it is over.
It will never be over while I still breathe.
He left me no choice. I jumped in the air and delivered my final attack. He was finally defeated, and I saw the world around me restored to normal.